Dragonfire Tools, quality affordable storage. Proud sponsor of our DragonfireTools.com studio. Time now for the lowdown with Magic Creeper.
Here on Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, we have a lot of esteemed guests, and one of them was Gary Dean. Now, he was in here showing off his line of car care products, his signature's right there, including Detailed Juice and lots of others. And I thought, well, here's a guy that works on cars every day detailing. He's a professional's professional, and he's always working on a car. And I thought, this guy could use a Magic Creeper. I handed him one on his way out the studio, and boy, he loves it.
I've got to get down on my side a lot to polish rocker panels. I've got to get down and clean wheels pretty regularly, fender wells, that kind of thing. There's always tar and all kinds of other stuff on the side of the vehicles that I've got to get down there and degrease and clean. And whether you've got this Magic Creeper rolled up as something you can put your knees on or laid out where you can lay on it, it's awesome in lots of ways because it's comfortable. But what I've noticed is on my cold concrete garage floor, I'm not as uncomfortable as I would be without it. It's totally padded, and beyond that, just the cushion and the effortless sliding that takes place when you're pushing yourself back. The material is super slick, where it allows you to move really freely, and it doesn't take a lot of effort to use it. What I really love about this thing for my detailing rig is I can throw it anywhere. I could roll it up, and it will just stuff anywhere I want it. It doesn't take any extra space up. I had changed the oil on my wife's car a couple of weeks ago, and a buddy of mine stopped by to drop a couple of things off for me, and he was like, "That's a really nice mat you're laying on." I was like, "Well, it's not just a mat." And then I explained it, and then he was like, "Where do I get it?" And I said, "They have a website. Check them out. Google it. Look around. This guy, I'm sure, will end up with one."
You can get the Magic Creeper at MagicCreeper.com, and if you're not convinced, head over to Detailed Juice's website. Gary's done a YouTube video telling all about the Magic Creeper and how much he loves it. You know, there are a ton of additives for your car, for your engine, transmission, and that sort of thing. And it's hard to tell them apart, but Tribotex really stands out from the others. How so, Brian?
1, it will stay in your engine longer. 2, it will not break down any of your components like your catalytic converter. And 3, we don't use products that would be removed from fuel.
And what about the ingredients? I know some of them out there claim to be this magic elixir, but when you really break them down, they're not that special.
Yeah, those lubricants are often great in short-term applications in clean oil, but in long-term use, they can break down into corrosive materials.
Well, let's talk about moly, for instance, molybdenum
disulfide.
It's very, very popular, and it has some good applications in the short term.
Molybdenum disulfide is a great lubricant. However, if it reacts with water and oxygen, it can make molybdenum trioxide, which is an abrasive, and sulfuric acid. It will dissolve it, so it not only makes an acid, but an abrasive. That's why it's really important to check your CV joints and your ball joints to see if the boots are cracked. If there is a crack, water can enter those areas and cause that molybdenum disulfide to break down.
What is it about Tribotex that makes it stay in the engine and on all the parts?
We work with the metal oxides and we will fuse to it, but we need to have extreme forces or pressures that are present in the engine at the surface level, at the friction. The particles are so small, it's like stepping on a needle. It will easily penetrate deep into the metal and force it and create this nice smooth surface that builds up.
Like stepping on a needle, it directs that force right there, but if you have an entire bed of nails,
exactly,
it the force.
That's one reason why adding a little bit of Tribotex goes a lot longer than adding a ton of Tribotex. Don't squeeze a bunch of tubes in the engine because that won't help as much as a little bit.
And now Tribotex particles, as we've seen from some of the animations, and we've seen Pasha with the famous sticky notes.
Yeah.
Tell us how that works and how the particles cling to each other.
They have 2 different sides. It's called a nisotropic, and it means one side is different than the other. One is sticky and one is slippery. What we use are these little particles that will fuse to the metal oxides. They react with it, but they're positively charged, so they repel each other. They are not like sticky as you would think of like a glue, but they're more like they can react with the metal surfaces if they are given enough force.
And so with particles like that sticking together, they can actually repair flaws in your old engine parts and protect your engine for a long, long time. You can check all of this out at Tribotex.com. More great products for your vehicle when we come back to Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Keep it right here.